This week on Arts and Minds.
Musically, it's unbelievable.
Cuba's way too cool.
An historic week in Cuba, a musical exchange between American and Cuban musicians.
I've never seen this much passion until I've been with my Italian family. It's great.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Making history together, right here in this hotel, in these rooms, making beautiful music together. Enthralled. This is where it happens. I'm going to put my harmony vocal on this. Music Bridges Around the World is a concept that I started back in 1988 based on the idea that music is more than just something we listen to and dance to. That it's a powerful force in the world that can bring cultures together, that can build bridges.
Cuba's way too cool.
Not only do I love this kind of music, but the opportunity to open up our two countries to appreciating each other more realistically and hopefully allowing musicians to go back and forth more freely is my aim here. I think it's fantastic.
It's a first for our two countries. The excitement to have 50 artists that you take anywhere in the world is a tremendous feat, let alone to take them to Cuba and have them work for a week with some of the finest artists worldwide.
It is a concert, but it features brand new songs that were written 2 days ago by a bunch of strangers with 1 day's rehearsal.
It's the first time in the history of the U.S. embargo where it was you were allowed to actually do an affirmative act of creating art.
This is a really international one because this is like my buddy Phil here is Mr. Bassman's Jamaican, and then you have Andy Summers who lives in America but he's actually British. And then you've got all the lovely Cuban ladies there. So we've got at least 3, maybe 3.5 countries represented. And I know I'm American, so that definitely makes 4.
Very exhilarating being here. Musically, it's unbelievable. It's like being in music camp, you know, in a way. People writing in every room being occupied, you hear guitars. It's sort of like the old days. All right, let's hear the ending. Ending. Makes my life good.
There is no money to be gained out of this activity. All of the artists are donating their time. All the documentation that we're doing is purely for educational purposes, because we want to maintain the purity of this artistic exchange. A lot of companies are donating transportation, sound equipment, guitars, because people believe that this is so important an interaction.
Second bridge coming up.
You got people recording, you got some brilliant musicians from Cuba and brilliant musicians from the States that are here.
I've never seen this much passion until I've been with my Italian family. It's great.
The truth of the matter is we have a lot to learn from Cuban music. The Cuban artists here are awesome. That's why we're so enthused to bring Cuban art and music to the United States, because they're awesome.
There's something about Cuba that captures your heart, either the kindness of the people or the beauty of the beaches or the mountains. There's something here, and I think a lot of it has to do with the music and the culture.
I choose places that need to have some positive energy, and that's my goal. Go somewhere where there's a need for some solving for music, which is not political, but just one person-to-person music as the healing force.
I really would like to see more help come in for their spirits, for their medical supplies, for their musical instruments. You know, we're just from human to human.
There probably hasn't been a rock concert like this in this country ever, so that this has to be treated as an extraordinary week in the history of the United States and Cuba.
Yes, of course, I am so excited tonight because we are going to see something special. On behalf of all the American and European artists who are here today, we want to say thank you very much for opening your hearts and allowing us into the country of Cuba.
I know it'll be really difficult to buy any of this stuff, especially from the States. Pretty much impossible, since they won't be recording it and marketing it. So it's pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
This will really be a watershed moment. I think years from now we'll look back on this as the turning point where the artists led the way once again to a change in policy which is desperately needed.